Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Matt's coming. No. When do we start?
2018 Comic-Con, baby!
You are you're really loud and like up on the mic.
I tried to be energetic. Engage the audience. Why are you against the audience? Why do you want to be just sad?
Why? No. Don't twist this.
Oh, no, I am a little bit, yeah.
You are, listen, I'm all about engaging the audience. I love the audience. I'm usually the most energetic person. But when you are pretty much swallowing the microphone, right? I get it's Comic-Con. I'm excited as well. But you are making out with the microphone.
Are you excited about this Comic-Con? Because this was kind of a weak Comic-Con.
See, there we go. I brought you back to where
this is reality. It wasn't the best, but that's what we're doing.
I get your wife is home from Japan and you want to get me out of the house.
We didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about my sad aloneness for the last couple of weeks.
No,
I was here.
You were miserable to be around. More so than usual.
Yeah, I do better with people.
Do you? Do you really?
I do better with certain people. Yeah. I mean, I'm always like 9/10 to like just walking away from any conversation. Like,
You're 3/4 of the way through the conversation before somebody even opens their mouth.
Just like, I don't want to talk to you. You know the people I want to talk to.
Yeah, I'm one of the 4. Okay, maybe 7 or 8.
I'm gonna say 7. 7 feels comfortable.
I'm in the top percentile.
It's just who I am. Is that bad? I mean,
no.
We're on a podcast. I don't have to talk to people, so that's fantastic.
You're talking to a couple thousand people right now.
I just get to yell. So I guess from there, now that you've berated me for trying to be excited about...
I did not berate you at all. Okay,
kind of a
you're
weak
being
Comic-Con.
Way oversensitive about this. You need to settle down.
Have I ever been sensitive?
This is a first, yes. I'm a little taken aback by it.
My feelings. But
all 2 of them.
What are they?
Anger and more anger.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anger and disappointment, which sometimes comes off as less anger.
Oh, good. So I guess from my less anger,
outrage. That's another. You have several emotions.
I have prepped hard for this show, mind you. Let us get into the news. So this week, before we play the theme, we don't have a theme.
Well, no, more importantly,
we're doing a episode 3 callback, because in episode 3 it was all about trailers, and in episode whatever this is.
No, I want to ask you about Old Hallowell Day.
So I didn't get to play the theme yet. This is fine. It was a normal Saturday. It was not exceptional in any way.
Nothing normal about Old Hallowell Day.
There was a parade.
There was a man dressed up as a pirate when I got downtown.
Were you downtown? Where were you?
Well, it was later in the evening. Like after you had gone home, yeah.
Oh, so you...
I was at the beach all day. I knew to avoid most of Hallowell during the daytime.
Oh, did you actually go there for the fireworks?
I went down there for the fireworks. They were really quite exceptional.
You sent me a text and I went, no.
Well, I knew you were lonely, and I should have known you would have said no because people were involved.
Yeah, I don't like the beer tent. I don't really...
The beer tent was actually not bad. It was
not bad. Okay.
There wasn't a huge crowd. It was...
The last time I tried
was wall-to-wall people.
Really?
The pirate was at the beer tent. There was a man dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow, full get out, and then he had some other guy...
Was he beating his wife?
No.
Oh, so he's better than Johnny Depp.
He had 2 women following him in some white kimono type dresses, and another man with like some sort of mystic mustache, long hair, and a bolo tie.
Cool. So I missed out on nothing.
I also overheard, like, it was like 2 distinct parts of Hallowell, because I overheard another man having a discussion with whom I'm assuming was his friend, or maybe just a random person, but he goes, and this is a quote, "I've been searching far and wide for the finest cannabis in all of the land.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow." I'm Michael Boltoning myself.
You're jumping the shark is what you're doing.
It's a great bit.
It was the Lonely Island stuff was really good on Saturday Night Live when they were really cranking it out.
I put out a thing today. I put out an old SNL skit today on my Twitter.
Which one?
Debbie Downer, when they're at Disney World, Horatio Sands has to wipe away his tears with a waffle because he's laughing so hard.
It's official. I can't have children.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, my favorite. I love watching that skit because I love watching it break down. I saw it when it aired. I used to watch Saturday Night Live all the time, like when I was in high school. Like nights that I wasn't, out partying as a teenager, I was watching Saturday Night Live.
You really lived a quasi-sheltered young existence.
Those are the two things I did. I, drank too much and watched Saturday Night Live. But I remember
And The
watching...
Simpsons.
Oh, I mean, that was a Sunday thing. That was Sundays at 8. I assume it's still Sundays at 8.
It depends on what's going on.
Football kind of...
That's around the corner, baby. Training camp's opening up. That's later on in the show.
I remember watching that, though. It's so fun to watch that skit fall apart. And Horatio Sands washing his tears away with a waffle is the greatest moment in SNL history.
I don't know if it's the greatest moment in SNL history.
I do not think you could top it. Like, if you said anything, I'm like, yeah, nope, the waffle tears.
Waffle tears were good. What about the lovers in the hot tub and Will Ferrell's mustache is coming off?
I do love how in every
We heard the beating of native drums.
I love how Will Ferrell tries to make everyone break. That's, his greatest bit, but whatever. We're not here to...
The cowbell bit?
We're not here to talk about SNL.
You're ruining it for us, Gene!
Maybe we can... Even Horatio Sands of that, like, playing the bass guitar, like, every time it stops, he, like, falls over backwards for no reason. Because you stop playing music and you just fall over. It's great.
I don't know if it's not the quintessential moment, but it's pretty good.
We're not here to talk about SNL, though. We're here to talk about San Diego Comic-Con 2018. No topic this week. It's all news, so let's do it. Here's the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Now, this week, I have broken up the news into 3 sections.
3 sections.
Movies, comics, and TV. I can't wait for you to not talk during one of them and look at your phone. It's going to be amazing.
Is that the comics section?
Yeah. Compared to right now where you're looking at your phone.
Because I know what you're talking about.
Let's start with the sad news of the week.
Wah, wah.
It is actually.
Is it official? You can't have children?
Rachel Dratch breaks so hard. It's like, that's a Lindsay Lohan episode, and she keeps together the best. That's also that great Harry Potter sketch was from that episode.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good one. But sad news starting the week, John Schnepp has died. He had a stroke at the age of 51. If you don't know the name, we have, or at least I have talked about, I don't know, I'm throwing you under the bus for this. Like, Jared didn't say it at all. This is the guy who directed the documentary The Death of Superman Lives, which is one of the most watchable and entertaining documentaries you have ever seen. It's fantastic. He did other stuff. His main gig was working for Collider, but for everything about him, everyone only had ever positive things to say about him. His partner / fiance had put a lot of stuff out there. It's very unfortunate. 51, that is a young age, but truly, like, Death of Superman Lives, I've spoken of it many times before this. It is a fantastic documentary.
I've watched about half of it and as I've been able to watch it, and it's really a good documentary, and it's really interesting that the history he knows, talking with the producers, and getting the story of what it was supposed to be out of people,
and weird Tim Burton house. Like, you get to see his weird ass home.
But the executive producer and his vision for Superman.
Okay, what's that guy's name?
I don't know. He went on to do...
He was Streisand's hairdresser.
He also went on to produce Wild Wild West, which followed exactly the plot he wanted to have in Superman Lives. So,
but everything that has been put out, like, apparently just a good human being, aside from being a good filmmaker. I highly, highly recommend buying or renting Death of Superman Lives. His family is also dealing with the astronomical medical bills of his massive stroke. So if you are able to financially give anything to that group, it would be greatly appreciated because they need it, and he was a good person and he put a lot of good into the world. So if you can, check out his stuff and try and help his family.
Well said.
Yeah, that's kind of the start of the sad news for the week. Second bit of sad news, and I should have asked you to research this, but I didn't.
Okay.
James Gunn.
Oh, yes. I've heard about this.
Yeah. James Gunn has been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Give me a second here. I see you're ready to say a thing. I just want to kind of hit my points.
Yes.
The second this happened, I started doing a deep dive into it, and I really went back and forth of, like, what do I want to say? How do I want to project my own personal reflection on this. And I've kind of like, I don't want to do like attack stuff. Like the person and the individuals who have mostly started this, I don't want to focus on that. I will say this though, like, so James Gunn made a bunch of tweets between 2008 2011 that were like about pedophilia and rape and 9/11. And they're not super great. I will always stand by the idea of George Carlin, like, you can joke about anything. But here's the thing. When George Carlin did the whole, like, you can joke about anything, he does, like, 10 minutes on how rape is hilarious. But it's also 10 minutes on how rape is not hilarious. And it's more 10 minutes on language and how men need to get their head out of their ass and how feminists, maybe dial it back a touch. It is possibly the greatest 10 minutes of comedy you have ever heard. He is brilliant. So unless you are George Carlin funny, and you're not, don't joke about rape or pedophilia.
Yeah, that's a good guideline.
So aside from that, but this was literally 10 years ago. Like, for me personally, I don't want to be the guy that I was 1 year ago. Me a year ago sucks. Me 10 years ago sucks a lot more than that. Like,
you tomorrow probably still gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of literally the human condition is you grow, you change, you evolve, you improve, and I truly believe that in James Gunn. Within the Marvel movies that we've seen, I believe that the Guardians movies have the most kind of like auteur kind of language to them, like compared to the Avengers movies. Like, I know Whedon and I can point out Whedon language in a heartbeat, but that doesn't necessarily reflect Whedon as a person. Compared to the Guardians movies, I went to college and I studied film, and I am a hard person to watch movies with because
yes. Oh my god, yes.
I can't watch a movie. I can only see how the sausage is made. That is how I look at a movie. And when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014, this was the first movie since Star Wars. It was the scene where they're escaping the prison and they take the control center and they do the anti-grav thing and they're flying away. I felt imagination and wonder I hadn't felt since I was 7 years old. That movie captured my imagination in a way that nothing has done since I was a child. Like, these movies reflect the artist, they reflect the heart, and they are beautiful. But what really bothered me is, forget the guy's name. He's one of the heads of Disney. He put out, I think it was like, the tweets that James Gunn released do not reflect Disney's morals and, whatnot. So we had to sever our relationship with them. Here's the thing. They don't, which is where it's problematic. Go back to Deadpool in 2016, I think. While Disney did not release Deadpool, they were very happy to oversaturate the market with Deadpool comics. Hard. Way too much. Like, so many books. It was ridiculous. And we're talking about a movie that made 3 child rape jokes within 15 seconds. They don't have an issue with that. Like, apparently their moral indignation has a $sign attached to it, which is where I have an issue. I 100% support James Gunn. I do not agree with Disney's decision around his firing. I think it is reactionary, and I think it is very negative.
See, I think it's such a hypocritical move on Disney's part for a couple of reasons. Well, first of all, that was then, I think people, again, it shows the danger of social media, and now once it's on the internet, it never really goes away. And I think there's probably only like one Teflon person in the world when it comes to social media. But social media is so dangerous because once it's out there, it's out there. But I think that we're missing the point, though, of people can change and views and opinions can change, and that the person who may have tweeted those things, poor taste or not, I mean, that was then, and you cannot judge them solely upon that. Because if Disney were to look, if Disney looked in the mirror, all right, and there's been really good.
I wouldn't want to judge you and the person you went from 2008 to 2011.
No, but it's more than that. It's more than that. If Disney's going to look back and say, well, these things were wrong, and this person did these things which were wrong at the time, and they felt that they're still wrong now, or at the time that person believed in what they were doing, then they're just as guilty as anyone else. And you can just look at some of their movies because of it. The Crows in Dumbo.
Yeah,
all right.
I've seen
there's
people
one.
Try and make that argument, but those people who did that are long dead.
The Siamese cat in Aristocats.
Like, these people are dead. Yes, those things are racist and wrong, but they're also dead.
Yes.
comparatively. Like Disney is such an institution. Like it's not,
But
they're Teflon. They could.
But here's the thing.
They should
They
be
were
able to
wrong. Those
stand
people are
by.
gone, and Disney's moved on, and that's not the direction in which they normally head.
Like when
All right?
they let go
Or
of John Lasseter, I accept that because he is, his actions were
Here's my
appalling
biggest thing.
not long ago.
Disney did not go to bat for him. They did not give him a chance to explain himself or to defend himself or to, say, listen, well, James Gunn made these statements and he says that he made these statements and now that was a long time ago and he's changed and we accept that he's changed and we accept that people can change. And, going forward, we expect him to conduct himself in a way that is consistent and concurrent with the views and direction of Walt Disney and Marvel Studios. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen his older stuff, and some of it I like, some of it I don't. I know that he started at Troma. I haven't seen, like Tromeo and Juliet. That one I haven't seen. I have seen Slither. I have seen Super. Slither is fantastic. It's a great, like, updated B movie kind of thing. But people grow, people change, and that is a belief that I have. And I'm not going to take credit for this kind of ideology because I saw it online. And I wish I could give credit to it. So please don't take it as a me thing. But someone put out something along the lines of, like, if people don't think that they're going to be judged on the character of the person that they become, what's the point of trying to change if you're just going to knock someone on their lowest point?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so I do not agree with Disney's decision. It's not even from a point of like, these are movies that I like. I just think it sets a
not only that, but
precedent.
Here's the other thing is nobody involved with Guardians agrees with that decision at all.
Seemingly, yeah.
Dave Bautista is very outspoken.
Zoe Saldana has taken the most neutral point, I think, to kind of see where things lie, but we'll see what kind of happens there. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. It's very negative news, but let's move on from there.
Yes.
Rehire James Gunn or don't, or just be better, I guess. And also, go through your own Twitter accounts and, clean them up a bit. I don't have a negative Twitter account.
No, I keep it. I keep mine upbeat and positive.
Well, for me, like, I always just show it to my wife. I'm like, is this funny or is this okay?
She's probably a really good filter.
I have a built-in filter. And so it's like, yeah, it's funny. And sometimes she goes,
no, absolutely not.
You can't tweet that. What's so funny, like, I wanted to tweet like the Deadpool thing. She's like, you can't tweet that. I'm like, so it'll be a podcast thing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, my audience on podcasting is like 20 times greater than my Twitter.
Yeah, but here there's a little more context to it as opposed to just a floating 260 characters or 280 characters.
All right, from there, we're moving on to movie news. God, that sucks. Mark Hamill may or may not have been at Comic-Con. I love him. He is the greatest troll on the internet.
He is. I love Mark Hamill.
I don't even know. Was he at Comic-Con? Was he at San Diego?
Absolutely he was.
Was he?
I believe it.
He's also tweeted that he wasn't.
You're weak-minded.
He's just
He's not the droid you were looking for.
Like, if you want to, because no one is going to be as famous or popular as Mark Hamill, but Mark Hamill trolls the internet hard constantly.
Oh, and he's you know who else does? William Shatner.
He's not as good as Hamill.
No, he's not, but he's up there.
But
he's on the short list of Ultimate Troll.
Hamill is happy to just troll the internet. It was like, I was at Comic-Con in a disguise. Or was I? And if you want to be a troll on the internet, be Mark Hamill.
It's good-natured, non-mean fun.
Good, clean fun. That's Hamill all the way. Was he at Comic-Con? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. He was the Orange Stormtrooper.
I'm going to say he wasn't. Just
to be contrarian.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I truly don't have a solid belief on this.
That's fine.
Maybe he was there, maybe he wasn't.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled, Zach, was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that based on a movie where the director is a pedophile and the star of that movie is also a rapist?
Why you gotta go that way, man?
Because
Why
you can't watch Usual Suspects anymore.
I haven't watched it in a long
You can't do it anymore.
Time.
Bryan Singer directed it. Kevin Spacey starred in it. It's a show of people fucking little boys.
This show is taking a drastic
I
turn.
can't help it. Don't watch Usual Suspects. Don't give them any money. What do you want from me? That's true.
I can't really defend it. I'm sorry. It's a good. Sorry, I like the line. It's a great line in the movie.
I know. I kind of can't watch a lot of the X-Men movies anymore because of it. Yeah, I can't.
It's supposed to be Comic-Con,
I
baby.
can't
We're supposed
do
to be
it.
happy. We're supposed to be like celebrating. And
Batman Hush. We've read it, right? You've read that? We didn't.
Yeah, we read Hush.
episode? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Hush. That's getting an animated movie.
Really?
Yeah. Go with the old Jim Lee designs. Not a lot to say on it. I don't know how it's going to work as a movie. I feel like it would work better as
Which one was Hush again? That's where.
Jason Todd may or may not be alive, but it was Clayface, but it was really Jason Todd.
Oh, yes.
And Dick Grayson was there, and Tim was there, and he made it with Catwoman,
Yes. Yes.
and he fought Superman.
Yep.
That's Hush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be an animated movie. It seems a little long for a movie.
They could do it in an hour and 45.
Could they?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
As long as you give me some Kevin Conroy, baby.
I don't know if it's going to be Conroy or not. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, comparatively, like, Killing Joke is too short of a thing to do as a movie, and that sucked when we talked about it. I feel like Killing Joke is too long to do as a movie.
You
like
mean
that...
Hush?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Hush.
Would you, if they did it right and they did it in just under 2 hours?
If they said they were doing it in 2 parts, I could go, yeah,
Like
great.
2 90-minute parts?
Yeah, I could sign off on that, but the idea of just
You don't want to sit for a full 3 hours?
Yeah, I feel like Hush is
Or 2 hours?
too big to do in one sitting. But we'll see. It could be good. It could be good. Hush
Okay.
is one of the best Batman stories out there. I love it to death. We've done it on the show, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
your confirmation is kind of my confirmation. So, yeah.
I feel like
I'm
we've read
all
it,
about
yes.
Hush.
Way to know our back catalog.
Did you watch the Glass trailer?
I did.
Because
Some
there's
star power in that.
There's 2 movies previous to Glass that you haven't seen, Unbreakable and Split. The Unbreakable-averse.
Yes, Unbreakable has
Bruce Willis.
who's also in the trailer for Glass.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson and James McAvoy and Anna Taylor-Joy, who's going to be in New Mutants if that movie ever happens. I know this isn't one you haven't seen, but it's just I wanted to speak on quickly.
Yeah.
I want it to be good. I like Unbreakable. I don't love Unbreakable. I do think it's funny in the trailer that they still show Bruce Willis in his kind of costume, which is just a raincoat.
You gotta flaunt it.
It's supposed to be a fill-in for a cape, which is just, a flowing raincoat, because his weakness is he can't go into water. He's super strong, and if he touches someone, he's going to see if you're going to commit a crime, but water will weaken him.
That seems like a really bad weakness to have on a planet that is mostly water.
Yeah. The end of the movie is literally him choking a man to death with like really epic music behind him, so that's kind of fantastic.
That's fair.
And Samuel L. Jackson killed a bunch of people.
Well,
I want it to be good. Split was, for as much as M. Night Shyamalan has kind of gone a shaft for, directorial capability, Split was a good movie, mostly. I was watching him at Comic-Con. He was on Conan, and he was like, oh yeah, it was so great to... Different Conan.
Oh, sorry.
You just see my shoulders drop when you just decided to speak. It was sadness. But he was on Conan. He's like, oh yeah, it was so great to see these 2 iconic characters. I'm like, easy does it. Don't call your own characters iconic. Like, that feels...
That's self-glossing.
Yeah.
Don't self-gloss.
Yeah, that to me felt a little funky, but I think it looks good. It's weird that this is coming back up. I feel like this is coming from Patton Oswalt tweets, because he tweeted some potentials for a Unbreakable sequel a while ago.
Yeah.
So thanks, Patton Oswalt. I mean, it's a good movie.
You the man.
He is good. I like him.
Yeah,
a
he's
bunch.
not bad.
But yeah, hopefully this isn't terrible. If it is, I don't really care. I haven't seen Unbreakable in a lot of years, and you haven't seen it ever.
Nope, I have not.
Or the sequel Split, which I didn't know was a sequel when I redboxed it.
Oopsie.
Yeah, it was fine.
Were you like, oh, that makes sense. I feel like that should be the sequel to something. Wait, it is.
That was the Shyamalan twist. Was the sequel. That was literally the twist, because, every Shyamalan movie has the twist.
It has to.
This twist was, it's a sequel.
Also, I feel like Shyamalan definitely goes with water is the enemy's, like the villain's weakness very often. He did it in Signs. The aliens melted in Signs when they're... Yeah. He's used that trope more than once.
Yeah.
Maybe he's H2O intolerant.
Or A Lady in the Water, where the writer was the hero all along. Or The Happening, where the trees were evil. What? No.
Didn't he do The Mist too? Or was somebody else who did The Mist?
The Mist was Frank Darabont. I got there. I don't feel like me and the credit that I should deserve for that.
You're welcome.
What else happened aside from Glass? So the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
You know who's going to be in that?
Who?
De Niro.
Really?
Yeah.
As who?
I think the role that he is up for is a judge. This is going to be based probably off of The Killing Joke, where the Joker is a failed comic, and apparently he's going to be going to court, and De Niro will be a judge.
So this is like Joker origin kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be real
Thank you for your honest opinion of the matter.
It is what it is.
Throw out
But
there.
yeah, so De Niro's going to be in that Scorsese-produced Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Weird.
Very weird.
Maybe he should yell into a pillow.
Or
shoot it.
Or grow a beard and just like go on the David Letterman show. And
do you not remember Analyze This?
Yes.
That was the gag I did.
Yeah, I remember that. Foos Rabba.
Cool. Into the Spider-Verse, that movie that is ruining our Christmas episodes this December, because we're going to have to go see it in theaters and talk about it.
We are.
Because it's going to be good. One of these Spider-Verse characters is going to be Spider-Ham. We've talked of Spider-Ham before.
We did.
He's in there, baby!
Not to be confused with Spider-Pig.
No, different one. It's going to be voiced by John Mulaney, relatively famous stand-up.
Okay.
You don't know Mulaney?
No.
It's okay if you don't.
I don't.
Yeah, he's a relatively famous stand-up comedian, so great. Spider-Ham is into the Spider-Verse movie. Baby!
Good for him.
I like Mulaney. He had a sitcom that was titled Mulaney like 2 years ago that was immediately canceled because no one gave a shit.
On Comedy Central, maybe?
I think it was Fox.
Usually, like, TV sitcoms that are named after a person or, like, use the person's name.
He was no Seinfeld.
They don't. Seinfeld's the only one I can think of that ended well and on its own terms.
Bob Marley almost had, he had a couple of almost Seinfeld sitcoms that just fell apart.
Yeah, well, I mean...
No one's Seinfeld, yeah. So this is basically an attempt at another Seinfeld, and no, Mulaney didn't get it.
No, but really, Seinfeld and Newhart. Name me, Bob Newhart. Name me another sitcom that was based on the lead actor's name that everything turned out fine in the end for everyone.
Dick Van Dyke.
The Dick Van Dyke Show. Okay, I'll give you that.
Ha ha! Got there.
Oh, what about
No, you said to name one, and I did.
What was the other one? What was the one with the whistling?
Vague. The sad whistle.
Why can't I think of it now? It had Barney Fife in it. Was a character. The Andy Griffith Show.
I had a snap for that, but yeah, great. So you've answered your own question.
Okay, so there's two. I'm really hinting at like
and the
Roseanne, The Cosby Show.
Let's not do Roseanne. Riz Ahmed. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. He was in Rogue One as Bodhi. He was the pilot.
Okay.
It's already been announced that he was going to be in the upcoming Venom movie. Venom apparently had some Comic-Con footage that was not released to the public. I didn't look it up because I don't really care. He is going to be playing Riot, one of the 5 symbiotes that is birthed from Venom.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's fine, I guess. I watched Rogue One the other day. You know what my biggest struggle with that movie is?
Everyone dies.
Trying to remember everyone's name. I was like, yeah, you're Baze or Baz or Churrit or Churit or what?
Jyn Erso.
I got that one. There's a few that I got like K2SO, but there's a bunch of them. I'm just like, what are your names? I don't remember. That is the hardest part about watching Rogue One is trying to remember the character names.
That's fair.
Still a good movie. I've watched it at this point 6 times. I literally still cannot remember what their names are.
Write them down. Take notes.
I feel like that's not a good sign.
Think it's too character saturated?
I was watching, again, like Baze or Baz or Churrit. Maybe. When I was watching the movie the last time, I'm like, you literally add nothing to this plot.
That's why you don't remember their name.
I mean, they do a thing because they have to do a thing, but everyone else does a thing because it's in their character. I mean, rewatch the movie and see if you disagree with me.
All right, that's
like
fair.
Those two literally just like they definitely contribute to the plot, but not because they are necessary to the plot. Like anyone else could have done what they did.
That's fair. I'm not going to argue that
because you haven't watched it in a while.
No, I haven't.
What else we got? There's the crack of a Coors.
Yep.
Godzilla, King of Monsters. My God.
Man,
for me, this is the winner of Comic-Con.
Everyone is in that, man. Mothra, Hydra. Or not Hydra. What's the 3-headed dragon?
King Ghidorah.
Yeah, that guy. He's there.
Or Ghidra.
Mothra's there, though.
He literally has 2 names.
Charizard. Charizard's there.
Yeah, we got Mothra, Rodan,
Pikachu,
King Ghidorah, and Godzilla. This, for me, is the trailer of the week.
I love how it ends like, all hail the king. And he just roars.
Did you watch Stranger Things?
No.
Me either. I get Millie Bobby Brown is in it. She is an actress from Stranger Things, I guess. I haven't seen it, really can't speak on it. It's one of those shows where people are like, you have to watch it. It's one of those things I've been told I have to watch it so much, I will 100% not watch it based on how many times I've been told I have to watch it.
I watched the trailer.
I just have to dig my heels and I'm like, no.
I watched the trailer that you didn't watch that I'd like to speak on in a minute.
Cool, let's do Godzilla first.
Yeah,
Because Godzilla was the one I thought was the best. I mean, I have seen, let's say, more than half of the Godzilla movies. I feel comfortable saying that. Rodan and Mothra were always two of the more complicated characters to do visually because they just have big wings. And my God, this movie, they made the trailer makes the wings work.
Question.
Like Rodan just burns things down and blows everything away.
Question.
Okay.
Because we saw a hint at this at the end of Kong Skull Island. Will we get a little Kong?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's setting the stage for Kong versus Godzilla at some point.
I think if I had to take a stab in the dark, I would say this movie is going to... I think we're going to deal with a lot of enemies become friends because both in the case of Mothra and Rodan, they both become Godzilla allies after being enemies and trying to take down Ghidorah. So I'm going to say that maybe Godzilla has to team up with the two of them to take down Ghidorah, and then the next movie has to team up with Kong, which seems a little redundant on the, hey, we have to team up with a monster to take down a Ghidorah thing, but I think with the ones they've introduced, that's going to be the way it goes.
Okay. I thought that was a fair question because we did see, remember the images at the end of the
Yeah. But I mean,
same company, same movie studio, right?
Yeah, Toho. Toho has leased this many monsters. They have only leased these 3, and clearly Toho does not own the rights to Kong because that used to be RKO, and then it went to Universal because RKO doesn't exist anymore. You're really making me dig in my brain here.
I'm working you. I like it.
But yeah, we'll see, because I mean, my natural reaction, and I hope it isn't that, where it's like they need to team up multiple times to take out a Ghidorah. I hope it's not that. That seems too redundant.
Don't you want to see Kong and Godzilla fight? That's what I want.
My fear is that it's going to be like a Batman v Superman where they fight and then they team up and they're friends.
I was discussing this with a friend today. They like Batman v Superman. They just jumped into because, well, actually, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for when we talk about Aquaman.
You think we're gonna talk about Aquaman? Maybe we will, sir. But I think Godzilla was the best trailer of the week. Shazam!
Man, I want to like Shazam. I wanted to like this trailer. There's some, I don't know.
You know, this is one that I warmed up to. I did not like it on my initial viewing. Because the whole movie is a little boy gets the powers from a wizard and he becomes...
On the subway?
The hero Shazam.
I've seen plenty of weird guys on the subway. None of them gave me superpowers.
One time I saw a dead man on the subway with gangrene.
Ugh.
It was deeply disturbing. I have never smelled anything worse.
Okay, let's go back to that. Go back to the positive.
I am haunted by that day.
I'm now haunted. I wasn't even there.
You do not know what rotting flesh smells like.
I don't, nor do I care to.
I know.
I know what Camp Metropolitan compost smells like.
That's another story for another day.
Anyway.
So Shazam. Yeah, I didn't like it the first time around, but I rewatched it. I'm kind of on board for it because part of the reason I disliked it is because I'm an old man and he did that weird like side to side arm dance thing.
Floss.
And I'm like, is that what it's called?
Yeah, get with the friggin' times.
I fucking hate it.
You are lame. You are like the lame dad. You have the lame dad bod.
Oh my god.
You're not cool enough to try and floss.
I saw that
Loser.
and I was just like, that dates this movie so fast.
Here's my thing about it. All right, after having watched the original serial and like knowing what
I like it. I did come around, so let's just hold off.
Well, can I just
you do your thing?
Okay. I just got the feeling that like Shazam, like Billy Batson is like when he transforms into Shazam, he's somebody else.
He's not somebody else. He's the idealized version of what he thinks a hero should be.
So he's like a kid though. Like, I don't know.
In this universe though, like essentially what Billy Batson is trying to do is being like, a happy Superman. But this world doesn't have a happy Superman despite what Justice League tried to tell you. They have a shitty Superman.
I did like some of the things though, like when he's like, your phone is charged, and it blows up. Like, I was like, hey!
Yeah.
I think it has potential. I don't know if the trailer sold me on the movie I'm looking for, but I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot because I like the concept.
It is. It's for as much as for the last 10 plus years we have, as much as I am a big proponent of I love this stuff, we have certainly had an oversaturation of comic book movies and superheroes and all that kind of stuff.
DC is throwing down right now.
But this feels legit. This feels fresh. We haven't seen this concept. The idea of, little boy in a big man's body. So I think it could be a lot of fun.
There's a movie called Big by starred Tom Hanks.
There's been a lot of comparisons to that. I would love if Shazam just did the piano thing.
No, that's iconic. Don't f it up.
No, he just has to go to New York because that's in the one of the candy.
Wasn't it REO Sax?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I've seen the keyboard in a candy store in
not in Hollowell.
No, not in Hollowell. But I mean, they have it in Manhattan.
Anyway,
so yeah, if they did that, I think that'd be a lot of fun because acknowledge that you are big, or acknowledge that you are what's that Robin Williams one?
Oh, where he goes backwards?
Yeah. What is
it? No, he ages too fast.
I'm not saying
Jack.
I'm not saying yes, Jack, not Benjamin Button.
The curious case of Benjamin Button.
The curious case of Jack. Yeah, so do Jack do big?
This is the case of Captain Jack Sparrow.
What else do we got? Aquaman.
I liked this trailer. This may have been my favorite visually. Although there's still some CGI stuff to clean up, I kind of like it. And this is where I got into this discussion with my friend. I feel like they pushed the ensemble movie on us too fast in DC.
100%.
And it screwed everything up because I have no investment in. I didn't really have any investment in Aquaman before, except for making fun of him on the show.
Because the average person knows him from the Super Friends, even if you didn't grow up watching the Super Friends. Just culturally, that is built into your DNA.
Yeah, make fun of Aquaman.
Yeah, because he has a stupid costume and talks to fish.
But I feel like where DC does best and has an opportunity to do best is create solo movies and then don't force, because they forced us into a full-on ensemble. We have no idea about The Flash. That's the most Flash film time we've ever had was in one movie. There's no investment in The Flash. All right, Cyborg. I'd love a Cyborg movie. Give me a Cyborg origin movie. I bet that'd be fun. Yeah, you went on that?
No, that's just his catchphrase from Teen Titans.
Oh, but look what they did.
Wait till we get there, baby.
Look what they did with Wonder Woman. That is a beautiful movie in which it gave Wonder Woman some power and some breadth and some real teeth in their cinematic universe. Man of Steel,
Aquaman. I did not. This is another movie kind of like Shazam. I opened myself up to it more when I watched the trailer a couple of times because I didn't like how it opened. We get this little boy who has perfectly coiffed hair, it is hairdresser done. And
listen, just because of the humidity and your mop right now are not getting along does not mean you judge this kid's hair.
It's perfectly done hair. And then the most unconvincing CG of the trailer opens it like a shark runs into the tank, and that in the Boston Aquarium, and that looks fake as all hell. And then the trailer gets better from there, but that's how you open it kind of put me off initially.
Yeah.
But going back and revisiting it, the movie's not super far out, but still a little ways out. So there is, still a chance to clean up your CG.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully it'll look better. But yeah, I kind of signed off on it in a hard way later on. It's very heavily based off of a Jeff Johns run, dealing with the trench, where it's the horror elements that we're seeing in the trailer and all that. I don't know if we're gonna get super dark in it. We get a picture perfect Black Manta, which I never thought was gonna be a thing.
You're all in on that.
Blast in his red eyes and all that. Yeah, when were we ever gonna see Black Manta? That's insane.
See, I think they're starting to figure out how to make better movies and give us some things
we
want. Yeah.
I think this movie has a lot of potential. I just think the trailer opened up really bad, which is...
And that's the first impression this movie's going to make on people.
Yeah, I mean, because literally it's just oh, yeah, look at that kid's perfect hair and a bad CG shark. Oh boy, I can't wait for this. But then from there, the trailer got really good, so I'm hoping
some of the visuals of Atlantis and the people looked good.
And it's going years ago, before we even started this podcast, there was this poster of Aquaman that said Unite the Seven, and it was Unite the Seven Justice League members, unite the Seven Seas. It turns out it's about uniting the seven tribes underneath Atlantis, which was 100% not planned out, but I'm glad you can try and retroactively make it a thing.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah.
What do they have to lose at this point?
And the last movie trailer, because we're going to keep on with things movies, Fantastic Beasts. I forget the subtitle, but it's Why Are We Still
The Crimes
Employing...
of Grindelwald.
Oh, yeah. The Crimes of Why Are We Still Employing a Coked-Out Wife Beater.
I found the trailer to be enjoyable. I think Jude Law is going to make a nice young Dumbledore.
So do I.
I liked Jude Law, and Jude Law is a great actor.
I think he has the right tone.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know my Harry Potter all that well, but you could literally say, like, why keep Johnny Depp there? Why does it say, like, oh, he had is it polyjuice potion?
Yeah.
That makes him switch about?
Yeah.
I am not getting the credit I deserve for pulling that out of my ass.
That's not where polyjuice potion comes from, unless that's the hair they chose.
Like doing Johnny Depp in another one of these things, it felt a little weird to me to have like Newt Scamander, like a 35-year-old man going through Hogwarts. Like, aren't you supposed to do that as a kid?
Maybe he already did and he's visiting. He's going back and Dumbledore is kind of guiding him. Not that we haven't seen that before, but...
So, I would like to give... Are you ready for this? I'm about to just bust the doors wide open.
Okay, go for it.
We did a review of Fantastic Beasts, and where they are, they're in a suitcase.
Yeah, in America.
Yeah, and one of us flubbed that.
Me?
Yeah, you didn't watch the movie. We
Nope.
We 100% faked that review.
We did.
I didn't. I saw it. You
didn't.
faked it.
I wasn't really ever bought
You
in
sent
on it,
me
to
a
be
text.
honest.
You're like, I didn't see it. I was like, just fake it.
And you know what?
We'll fake it through this.
I sold people on it.
I don't even know if you did, because you know what I honestly did in my edit?
What?
I left a big mistake in there that you made.
Oh, no.
Just to see if people would call you out on it.
Did anybody
No,
call me?
no. I didn't get
See,
a single
that's-
message about it.
Because
But
they're all like, yeah, Jared didn't see this movie, and I don't blame him because I didn't either.
yeah, if you go back and listen to our Fantastic Beasts review, Jared makes one glaring mistake.
What'd I do? What was my mistake?
You mixed up characters. You mixed up Ezra Miller's character with someone else.
Whatever.
I don't
It's in the
remember who it was
past.
now. Yeah,
It's in the past.
it doesn't matter. But yeah, Jared didn't actually see.
Polyjuice that.
Have you seen the movie since?
Nope.
I'm not going to see it because Johnny Depp is a coked out
Wow.
wife beater. So, don't. But it was an entertaining trailer. And that's movies. You ready for comics?
Yes.
I don't know if you are. Okay, try. This is the part where you need to try.
Okay, I'm trying.
Because I know it's a harder bit for you. You're like, I don't know what this is. Green Lantern.
Hal Jordan.
There you go. He's the main one. I'm so glad you're engaged. Grant Morrison is returning to DC Comics, and he is taking over the Green Lantern book.
The Yellow Lantern.
This makes a lot of sense. Grant Morrison...
Of course it does.
Grant Morrison loves his psychedelic drugs, and he likes to, just chow down on them like they're candy. If you eat a lot of candy, that's his thing.
You don't like candy. That's not your thing.
No, it's not.
No.
Actually, I had some yesterday.
Wow.
And then I had a sugar rush and I crashed. Because it's so infrequent in my life.
You're like,
I
is this what it feels like to have diabetes?
I crashed so hard. Like, I had it, I was digging a hole, and then I had to take a nap. That's a thing that happened. But Grant Morrison for me in Green Lantern works so much because Grant Morrison loves his, psychedelic side of things. And Green Lantern can construct anything that he thinks out of his ring. Can you think of a more appropriate creator to do something with Green Lantern than Grant Morrison? Because whatever he's going to make for those constructs is going to be weird.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, so I am all about that. More news, more comic news. We're doing comics. It's all comics for right now. Batman hasn't had any over-the-pants trunks since 2011 when the New 52 started.
I think we've talked about this.
Well, he's getting them back.
Yeah.
We talked about Hush earlier. Batman is going back to his Hush-era costume, which includes his underwear on the outside.
That's all superheroes should be.
So he can, pee his pants or poop himself. One of those.
That's not why that. No, that's not how that works. Those are to prevent
It
that.
does depends.
Those prevent that. Yes.
I thought that was funny.
I picked it up. I put it right back down.
Yeah, that's the thing that's going to happen in the Tom King run. I mean, we'll see. I'm more interested in Superman having it than I am Batman. And Superman did recently get it back. Because it is based off the old, strongman thing of,
Like the wrestler, the strongman, the
yeah,
circus
it's not a
sideshow
bad
guy.
thing to
Yeah.
Because you get to break, color-wise, you get to break up the costume a bit that way. Even if you have, a different colored belt, the idea of the trunks.
It's not like.
It breaks it up.
Don't confuse it for a superhero codpiece. He's not Judge Dredd.
Whether or not it's functionally reasonable color-wise, it does.
It
I
gets
think
the
help
job
it.
done. Yes.
Dr. Horrible. You ever see Dr. Horrible?
Isn't that the one with
NPH.
Yes, and the sing along?
Yeah.
Yes. You showed me that once.
Did we watch that?
Yeah, with the guy from Serenity in it.
Was I drunk?
You probably were.
I don't remember watching that with you. I was probably drunk. Was I single?
I don't know.
Probably. If we watched that, I was probably drunk and single. But Dr. Horrible, a Joss Whedon property that came out in 2008 during the writer's strike. Do you remember the TV writer's strike from 10 years ago?
Yes, that's where it came out of.
Yeah. That is getting a sequel, but as a one-shot comic book. There's already some Dr. Horrible comics out there, and they're not good. They are, when you're dealing with trying to translate a musical into comic book form, you know it doesn't work?
The music?
Yeah, any of it.
What if they got like the little record like we had that one time we listened and did the Spider-Man comic?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Why not?
Work.
What's wrong with that?
You know what's even great about that musical is if you watch the commentary, there's one commentary track that is a whole separate musical.
But like,
that's pretty fantastic.
That is. But here's a little something for you. It's a little something to chew on. Okay, you could do it, but have an MP3 download that when you get to a certain page, you press play on your MP3 or whatever the kids are listening to, MP4s.
Musical
your
files.
iTwitters and pod chats.
You think I'm an old man?
But no, like, and you get to like a certain page where there's the musical number and you have the recording of the song and you follow along.
That'd be good, but that's not what it's going to be. It's just going to be a kind of crap one shot. I am personally not super looking forward to it. But things I am looking forward to, Marvel Knights, because, remember everything that's old. In the mid to late 90s, Marvel was about to go under. They had to sell off a bunch of their movie rights, all that stuff. But they also had to reimagine themselves for not so much for the 60s and the 80s. I am skipping the 70s very intentionally. Marvel was the trendsetter. And then the 70s and the 90s, Marvel were more of trying to follow along with whatever the trends were.
Mm-hmm.
And to try and reinvent themselves, they came up with the line Marvel Knights, which was run by Joe Quesada. That was
Knights with a K or Knights with an N?
Knights with a K.
Okay, like medieval knights.
Yeah, so that was like Daredevil and Black Panther and Punisher, and I don't remember everything off the top of my head. Give me a break here. I did pretty good with 3 of them.
You came up with Polyjuice Potion, so you're really on Dream Street the rest of the night.
But the Marvel Knights line is going to return, which is a more, air quotes, hardcore kind of line. And it's going to be done by Donny Cates, the guy who did Baby Teeth and Venom and Thanos Wins, which are all like big, dark things. Redneck. We did Redneck on this show for last October.
The vampires.
Yeah.
The hillbilly vampires.
Yeah. So Donny Cates, guy who's done kind of like big, dark things. What's weird is they credited him as, once again in quotes, showrunner. It's not a show, but that's what they're kind of crediting his
Good for them.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not against Marvel Knights coming back. If you want to try and get some edgier Marvel books out there, it's not a bad thing. It worked before. It got Marvel kind of back on par with things, and there is certainly a push to try and, hey, remember when things used to work? Which is also probably detrimental ultimately, where you're just trying to remind people of the past, and then, there's an audience that's not going to remember the past because they weren't old enough to remember the past, and they're all going to just, snake eating its own tail, but, deal with that when it happens. But Marvel Knights is back! Woo!
Just processing the image of a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Is it in nature, really?
X-Men Black, that's a new line, but it's not really a line. What it's going to be is a series of one-shots dealing with X-Men villains, because there's been so many colored titled books. There's been X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue, which are both
Pokemon Green.
Yeah, they're both X-Men Gold and Blue are getting canned in a couple of months. X-Men Red, but now there's going to be X-Men Black, which will have a one-shot for Magneto by Chris Claremont, the greatest comic writer of all time, doing that book. Mojo, Mystique, Juggernaut, and Emma Frost. Also on the X-Men line, Uncanny X-Men will be returning, the main X-Men line, because with Blue and Gold going away, we're getting our main book back, baby.
Yes, we are.
There's literally no information about it. It's literally just, it's coming back.
That's all you need to know. You don't need more information than that. It's coming back.
Yeah, it also, it doesn't matter.
No.
They're trying to make a thing out of it. There's been 2 years since Uncanny X-Men. Yeah, but there's been other X books, and there have been main X titles. They're trying to fluff it up to be a bigger thing than it is, and as a retailer, it probably shouldn't be you're just doing another X book.
You need to hop on that hype train, Zach.
I'm an honest man.
Hop on that hype train.
I am an honest man. What do you want from me?
I'm glad you honestly understood that your beard was terrible and you've taken steps to correct it.
Easy does it. I grew a far more epic beard than you did.
That is horse shit. it. That is the biggest line of crock that you've spewed on this show ever. I take great offense to that, you communist bastard.
You can't grow a beard to save your life.
That is, of all the hurtful things you've said to me, that is one of them.
My beard goes from my eyeballs to my toes. I have way too much body hair, and my beard is epic and large. Although I cut it back.
You did cut it back. My beard was bigger.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
100%.
It was. Oh my god!
Oh, why?
I am going to punch you right
We
in your
can't even have
beardless
this
fucking
argument
chin.
because we shaved them both.
Yes, but my beard was far superior to your
Easy.
beard.
No, not in
Did
a
you
million
care for your
years.
beard? Did you love your beard?
I had a wax. I had a wax that I purchased, and it made it sleek.
Did you have a comb, a brush? Did you brush it?
Yeah,
Did you?
it was
brush
just a
it
regular
tenderly?
comb, but yes.
I am actually insulted. I am hurt.
Well,
I don't know what. How can you even look at the beard you had and the hair that you had with it?
long and mighty, and you know what? Enjoy
Well,
going home to your cat. Enjoy going home to your cat by yourself. I'm
You
just
know
gonna
what?
go upstairs and
You
be
know,
with
just
my
'cause
wife.
your wife's home and you're not alone anymore doesn't mean that you can all of a sudden get big barrel chested and shit
I
on
am
me.
always barrel chested.
You're fat. There's a difference.
Let's keep doing news. What else we got? BMB, baby!
What is Bendis up to now?
We're gabbing about Bendis. It's this week's news about Brian Michael Bendis.
Bendis.
Get excited about Bendis.
I'm excited about Bendis, but there's a tear in my eye on how you treated me over my beard.
That should be the thing that you're sad about.
Behold my beard. That's what BMB is. I shaved 3 weeks ago, and I have the same amount of beard that you do right now.
That doesn't mean anything.
I
That's
can
just
grow
how
a far better beard.
it wasn't on before, but it'll be on after I go to some weddings.
Oh, okay. We'll start fresh.
Oh, is that how we're gonna do this?
We'll start fresh.
Okay,
we'll
so
start from scratch.
post weddings. So it's gonna be like mid-September.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's on now.
We gotta go nude.
It's on.
so,
It's on, you dirty motherfucker.
so like mid.
No shave
No, no.
November. Here it is. Here it is. No shave November. Whoever has the best beard by fan vote at the end of No Shave November.
I guess if you want.
There it is.
Why are you skipping October? Like I'm done with weddings in September.
Well, no. Okay.
Why are you giving yourself a
At the
buffer
end
month?
of No Shave November, we will have a vote by the fans.
Wait, so is that going to? So in your world, is that we don't shave because I gotta shave at least a little because I got stuff going crazy on the sides here.
You can do a little.
So
you can
sculpting is allowed?
You can sculpt a little bit. Like I grow a really bad neck beard. I don't like it. It's ugly and hideous. And
Oh, I got full neck to toe.
you don't have a neck anymore.
What is this?
It's chub.
It's 100% not. But I appreciate you just flinging insults unnecessarily.
Because you shit on my beard.
So
I
you're-
was so
so
proud
now,
of my
So now
beard.
you're making up insults. You're like it's like
I'm not making it up. You can pinch. Your neck has a fold.
everyone can pinch. You do it right now. Oh yeah, you're pulling skin. Everyone can pull skin. That's
Yeah.
how skin works.
Yeah, but as I sit here on the couch, is there a crease in my neck?
I do. There's this one here that's like
Yeah, there's one on the. I'm not touching you because you're sweaty.
yeah. These are no, those have always been there. That's always been an issue with trying to shave. Like I always have razor burn where there's any kind of crease.
Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah, it's an issue. But okay, all
right, it's
that's
on.
not what we're talking.
That was the
about.
best 5 minutes of the show in the last year.
No one gives a shit. But I guess it's on. That's a competition we're having.
Just stay tuned for that.
Somehow
Be
where
the
we have
best-
we have to go nude and then grow and sculpt.
I wouldn't
Super.
describe it that way, but
Why do you care?
because I liked my beard and I thought it was
It's fine.
it was a stately beard.
It's fine. Why do we care? Whatever. I guess this is the thing we're doing now.
Oh my god!
We're moving on to
This is what
BMB. No,
Emily brought back Saki, and things have been downhill for the last 24
I
hours.
literally had one drink.
And that was one too many. You struggle without adult supervision. You struggle with adult supervision.
Brian Michael Bendis is doing a thing.
What is he doing?
Bendis is going to be redefining Lois and Clark's relationship. What does that mean? Get off your damn
They become
phone.
swingers. They become swingers, and they go to a key
I
party.
will strike your phone away.
What if Lois pulled Lex Luthor's keys at a key party?
They don't go to key parties.
You don't know that.
You've
That's
never
gonna be-
been to a key party.
Have you?
What? No.
Okay, so how do you know that I've not been to a key party? Have you been to every party I've ever been to?
I have been to enough where you did new things that it was announced.
I've never been to a key party. You're absolutely right.
I've been to enough parties that you've been to.
Well, I just want everybody look at how wonderful I am. Carry on.
So Bendis says he's going to be redefining the relationship. Lois went off planet for a little while. She is returning. And when she returns in Action Comics 1004, she does not immediately contact Clark.
Oh, she ghosted his ass.
My wife was
New
gone
phone,
for 2
who dis?
weeks.
New phone, who dis?
And if she came back to the country and she like didn't contact me, I'd be like,
Your wife was gone from the country for 2 weeks. The first time you saw her, you were sprinting to the fucking bathroom.
I had a lot of caffeine in me and I had to pee. I don't know why.
I miss Emily so much. It's terrible being alone. Oh, I'm going to see Emily. I'm so excited. Bathroom.
I had to pee. Why did you? You know what? You brought it up. But that's what Bendis is doing. You know what it's time for? That's the end of comics news. Thanks.
Back to the TV.
We're going to do TV, but before we do TV, I'm going to give you a second to just mess up a segment. It's time for Jared's Sports Reports.
Sports reports. Well, the Boston Red Sox continue to have the best record in the major leagues.
Hang on.
What?
We need a space for a theme. Theme play now.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Okay, you can talk.
Okay, well, the Boston Red Sox continue to have the best record in all of baseball. In fact, if they play
Ever?
No, not ever. They have the best record this year so far. And in fact, if they only win half the games they have left, they're going to win 100 games. They haven't won 100 games since the 1940s in Ted Williams. So that's a neat little piece of trivia. Let's see. What else do I got? NFL training camps are opening up, including the Patriots. The NFL Hall of Fame game is next week, so a couple of teams have been in early. Also, the San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo making some waves and some headlines.
I have a thing down about that, actually.
He actually...
I wrote a sports reports down.
This is the different...
It's time for Zach's Sports Reports. It's all about poor... Okay, do your thing.
He had an extensive interview in which he said that there were days where he was like, I'm better than Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, he had an extensive interview.
He also... It was not on the casting couch. He also says that he and Bill Belichick text weekly after games still, which is kind of interesting.
I actually did see that thing about like him claiming that he was better than Brady. Do you think he got traded because of a conflict with Brady?
I think what happened is Bill Belichick saw Jimmy Garoppolo as the next quarterback of the Patriots, and I think Robert Kraft and Tom Brady. I don't think Tom necessarily undercut him, but Tom knows the writing is on the wall, and Tom knows the Patriot way, and that you'll get released or you'll get demoted or moved around when your value starts to diminish to the team. And at some point, Jimmy G was going to surpass Tom, and Tom didn't like that. Tom's still so very marketable. Don't get me wrong, Tom Brady's still one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL.
That is really like you have said. So I have heard you drunkenly announce so many times that he is the best in the league, the best of all time, still the best today. Blah 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 blah.
Yes, but he's also going to be 41 years old this season. Father Time.
We are not that far away from that age.
Father Time is undefeated, dude. Father Time is undefeated. At some point, the Patriots needed to look to their future, and Bill Belichick.
But isn't it better to have a backup for Brady?
Like a good backup? Like
who do they? So who do they have now?
Brian Hoyer.
I don't watch football, so you gotta.
He's bald.
You gotta give me some context here.
He's kind of been a journeyman. He was Brady's backup for a while. He's been with Brady when they've won Super Bowls. He's a very
It's still going.
He's a very serviceable quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but I don't know if he'd be the guy like you'd want to have every week if Brady, God forbid, got injured. But I mean, there's a lot. I don't know.
How many more seasons does Brady have realistically?
3,
That's
2 or 3.
The number I was
I think
three.
he's closer to the end than he probably thought.
But why does he even give a shit? Like he can just retire. He has the cash.
Yes, but he also is a
he can
massive competitor.
Like if he wants it, he can do like a. I mean, not an exact like 1-to-1, but buy yourself some Papa John's and just
No. That's probably a bad way to go with that.
not Papa. You know what I'm saying though. Like just get yourself some sponsorship and you can get easy money for 3 minutes.
No, don't go the Peyton Manning route. He's got tons of money. Anyway, more importantly,
yeah. So let's do the real.
no. I'm just.
We're not getting there yet.
No, we're not there.
You want to pull the taffy? Was his taffy pulled?
Oh my God! Just fine. Have your little moment of Zach knows something sports related.
I don't know something sports related, but I know something porn related.
Shocking.
Oh please! If I let you have the time, you would have jumped there.
No, I was gonna let that go because a man's personal life is a man's personal life.
Jimmy Garoppolo, 49ers quarterback, went on a very public date with Kiara Mia, who is
Don't act like you don't know how to pronounce her name.
I don't.
Or spell it.
I mean, I wrote it out. Did I pronounce it right?
I have no idea.
You are really my point of reference here.
How am I your point of reference?
Because of your porn addiction.
Pot, meat, kettle.
Kiara Mia is a porn star, and within the last week since she went out on this date with Garoppolo, her porn searches went up 2,309%.
All from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Isn't that gross? Like, oh, she was out with someone famous? I don't know. That's I guess not my thing. But, you know, neither here nor there.
Man. Curiosity. I'm sure people are like, oh, living vicariously through Jimmy G.
She looks kind of like one of the Kardashians, including starring in a Kardashian parody porn. So if you can't get a real Kardashian...
Oh, what are you doing, Zach? I'm doing research for the show.
If you can't get a Kardashian, you just get a parody version of him, baby. That's what I got for sports reports, and Marcus Smart is back on the Celtics. What up?
Okay, well, yes, he re-signed with the Celtics. Here's my thing. Like, right now, that whole segment, you probably, like, if every week a sports star was, like, it came out, because everyone knows that this is happening. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of sports stars that are sleeping with porn actresses and models and stuff. You would, like, be like, Zach's sports porn report. That is the most research you've done for any sports report all year long.
Excuse you. I did Celtics research.
Okay, but you did one sentence on Marcus Smart. You like listed off an IMDb of her porn movies.
Comparatively to my football, baseball,
porn ball,
European football, tennis, NASCAR. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the NASCAR was up in New Hampshire this past weekend, and Kevin Harvick beat Kyle Busch in the Foxwood Resorts 301. I didn't go to Loudon this year. Hence, I still don't have a massive hangover.
So a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, at least for me and my health.
Is that your sports reports?
Yeah, that's about it. It's really kind of a down time of year for sports.
We're going back to the news. We were just breaking it up a little bit.
Television.
Yeah.
The televisor.
DC's streaming service, DC Universe, released their first trailer for Titans.
Interesting. I found it to be
bad.
Yeah, you're right. It was not good.
I didn't like it at all.
They're like, we're going to use the F-bomb because, well, we can.
Yeah, we have Dick Grayson, who has more of a Jason Todd attitude, wearing a Tim Drake suit, saying "F Batman." And my response is like, that's your most profitable thing.
You've been waiting for a year to see the best ass in the Batman universe, and you get him swearing at Batman.
I did not. It was not for me. As much as like I'm on board for Shazam and I'm on board for Aquaman, they showed the Titans trailer. I was like, yeah, no.
Dark, whiny Robin. Man of Steel Robin.
This is a subscription-based service, and I do not feel the need to buy it. I'm not gonna.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, it just looked bad.
It just seemed dark and
the Teen Titans, if you read like the Marv Wolfman, George Perez book, like that is one of the greatest runs of comics of all time. Like the Titans are not lacking for quality, but seeing this, I was like, what is this?
We're going to be edgy. Robin's going to say the F word.
Yeah, it felt like they were trying to be dark for the sake of trying to be dark.
Exactly.
I don't care about that.
I feel like I just said that. Like, oh, we're being edgy.
Yeah.
Robin said the F word.
It does nothing for me. Star Wars, The Clone Wars. This series was canceled when Disney bought everything from Lucasfilm.
And then Disney's like, oh,
it's back, baby.
We can make a ton of money on this.
Yeah, I think it was a case of The Clone Wars is back because why not give something that people generally like, or at least Star Wars fans generally like? I've never seen the Clone Wars, really.
No.
I saw the movie in theaters, and I think I've seen 3 episodes in total. I am certainly not a Clone Wars aficionado, but I know that like hardcore Star Wars fans like it, and given how divisive Last Jedi was, I think that it's a smart move for
peace
Disney
offering
to give like, hey, you guys all like this.
Well, the Jedi
you nerds, you like this, you nerds? Well, you could have it.
The Jedi at the end that speaks to Anakin, I don't remember her name. Ahsoka. Nobody knew if she was alive or dead, and now they know.
No, I think because the thing you're talking about happens in Rebels when Anakin is deep into Vader, so it's still questionable as far as I know what Ahsoka's fate is.
Oh,
but again, I'm not a Rebels or a Clone Wars fan. I don't
I'll
think...
give you a little spoiler alert: Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, they make it.
Yeah, but yeah,
they survived the Clone War. However, the general Star War, it doesn't look good for all 3 of them.
2008, and I went with it with my roommate. May or may not have said the show before, but like we saw the Clone Wars in theaters, so like we went back home, we're like, that was awful. Like there was this girl Ahsoka who just called R2D2 R2E a bunch, and also on the DC Universe streaming service, Jeff Johns is going to be leading up a Stargirl series. Stargirl we have seen briefly in Legends of Tomorrow. I've kind of fallen off of all of those shows, not because they're not good, just because time.
It's a commodity.
It is. I'm sure you have a lot to say about Stargirl.
Was that a trailer I was supposed to watch?
No, it was just an image.
Nope.
So you're fine.
Yeah.
But you did watch the Iron Fist season. Stop! Get your hand out of your pants.
I have an itch right on the inside of my thigh. It's sticky and hot out. It's humid.
Yeah, so Iron Fist season 2 had a trailer. I don't think it was bad. I think they put a honest effort to be like, hey, look, we actually tried to do competent fight scenes this season.
But he's still kind of just whiny, grumbly. Oh, this is my city. And
I know. Like, how many people's city can this be? I feel like it's everyone's city.
Everybody has equal stake.
Like, at this point, just be like...
Take pride in your city.
Someone has Manhattan. Someone has Soho. Someone has Harlem. Like, you just need to start
Nobody wants the Bronx.
You just need to start doing it by boroughs. Like, you can't have the whole city.
I just want the Brooklyn Bridge.
The Brooklyn Bridge is not...
I just want the bridge.
Just one bridge. You want a bridge.
Yeah, just one bridge.
So at least you're not doing like GWB, which has the worst tolls.
No, but like the bridge is a major thoroughfare, and people got to go through me to get where they're going.
Great. I'm
Brooklyn,
so glad.
Brooklyn.
It's not even Brooklyn. You're just doing the bridge.
Just the bridge.
You're the worst superhero there is. At least Green Goblin is snapping necks there.
Whoa.
He did.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy style.
Damn.
So yeah, I thought it looked okay given what we've seen. Jeff Loeb did come out head of Marvel Television. He has written books that we've done before, like Batman Along Halloween. He's also written movies like Commando.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger, like that Commando?
Yeah, that's his.
Stick around. That was from Predator.
Bennett.
Blow off some steam, Bennett.
Yeah. But he came out dressed like
I love
Ralph Macchio in the Karate Kid, so it was kind of an eyebrow raise, like, you a weeaboo?
Blow off some steam.
I think he was a little bit of one of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a little funky. Oh, here's a good one. I can't wait, because this was a conversation my wife and I had last night.
Yeah.
About what's going to constitute for Christmas presents.
Okay. Well, things around the 25th of December. That's a start.
It also involves you because I pushed a show back.
Are you giving me away for Christmas? You can't do that.
Batman, the animated series, is getting a full Blu-ray release in October.
Are you asking that for me, like, to give to you?
The first episode is Man Bat. It's Man Bat. I pushed that episode back because of this release.
Yes, Man Bat. Give me
you don't even know.
Man Bat. Yes.
You don't even know, but it's Man Bat. And, like, she's like, oh, so that sounds like a good Christmas present. And then there was, like, 45 seconds of silence. I'm like, I'm sorry, Christmas? This is out in October.
Halloween present.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
You don't have anything really coming up, though, to, like, celebrate there. Why don't you give it to me for my birthday, and then I'll give it to you as a reverse birthday present?
Weird scaling her, but sure. I just want to buy this.
Then buy it. You're an adult. You're 29.
I'm 30.
Okay, I'm trying to help you out here a little bit.
So you tried to age me down. I do love animated series Batman, but yeah, that's coming out in October. Downside to this, which kind of pissed me off.
You have to wait till October?
Well, there were 3 Batman the Animated Series movies. There was Mask of the Phantasm, which got a theatrical release in 91. My dad wouldn't take me to it. Thanks, Dad.
You need to lay off Pops.
I refuse. And there was also like Sub-Zero something. Mr. Freeze is
he's a cold
guy
dude
who has polar bears.
So
those were re-released on Blu-ray. Those are now going to be released in the box set, which is currently the only way that is being sold. So I'm like, great. I'm so glad I bought Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero on Blu-ray for that thing that's being re-released. So now you can buy them relatively cheap in the store.
Slightly used.
I watched them like once. They're perfect. They're in perfect condition, but for a lot less cash. All right, let's do the last bit of news, which is also going to be a letters to the editors theme that we do.
All right.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
This has been an extensive episode. We've covered a lot of things today.
It's a long one. But this is the last little bit.
All right. If you've made it this far.
If you've been aware of me and my presence on the internet, you know that I do another podcast.
You do. The Buffy back issue bin.
Yeah, but you know it's coming back in a reboot form.
Buffy?
Yeah.
I saw that, actually. Without your tweeting it, I saw it.
So
unprompted.
I have responded to tweets. I have put it out publicly, and now I am going to verbally say my thoughts. But
that's how.
So let me give you a little bit of context.
Well, can I just say, like, for a moment, like having done the show and all of the research I've done for the show, when I open up my mobile browser, I get a lot of news feeds about comic book news.
So let me give you the context.
All right, I'll sit back and listen.
So
you can have your moment. Because I know you love Buffy.
I'm trying to give you context so you can give your opinion before mine.
That's why I'm going to sit back and let you talk.
So Buffy originally, the whole concept was in the mid to late 90s, or originally in the early 90s when it was a movie before it was a TV show, was what if the girl that you always saw getting, murdered in an alley fought back and killed the murderer, whoever the demon or monster was. So in the early to mid 90s, it was a Valley Girl. And now what the reboot show is going to be, which is a reboot, not a sequel, is going to be a black character named Buffy, which I am going to now pass it off to you. So given that context of early 90s to now 2018.
Listen.
No.
I just want a good story. Listen, don't turn this into I don't know. I don't like this question. I don't like the pretense
really?
No.
Oh, I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's not. We've had better questions. No offense, question asker.
It was Ross.
Alpha Flight, baby. I got your back. Listen, I don't care. And I think the biggest thing that we can do as a group of people, as a society, as consumers of pop culture and media, is when we start putting on the color blinders. I don't care if Buffy is white or African American or Asian or Hispanic. What I want, like you always say, I want a good story. Give me a good story. And if it's a reboot, it's not a reset, then fine. Have at it. It's different canon. It's not the same Buffy.
Yeah, that's my whole thing about it, though.
So go for it. Have at it. Ross, you're a great question asker. Alpha Flight, baby. All in on it. He didn't tell me.
For life.
Had he told me ahead of time that it was your question, I wouldn't have insulted it. I love you, baby. Let's go.
My whole thing on it is I would rather have it be a sequel series. Buffy is ending in 2 months. Like, the show has been going on, or the original story has been going on since 97. It is ending in 2 months. If I had it my way, I have no idea how it's going to end. Like, it's probably going to be like big and apocalyptic and like totally resetting the universe. But if I had it my way, I would say, hey, make it be a sequel series. There are a couple of characters you couldn't use because, vampires are supposed to be ageless, and it's been a couple of years since then. But you could still utilize most of the cast, or you could even do de-aging technology if you wanted to use people sparingly. I'd rather see it as a sequel and not have the character named Buffy, but on the other hand...
Why can't you treat Buffy like the Doctor?
You could do another Slayer. Like, the whole thing is literally season 1, the intro to every episode is into every generation a Slayer is born, one girl in all the world who will fight the forces of evil and darkness and all that bullshit. But yeah, I'd rather have it be a sequel thing, but if it's not going to be, I can understand. One thing that the show always fought against, like, the show started in Buffy's sophomore year of high school, and the show always kind of because I mean, she obviously aged every single year. The show always kind of wanted to return to the high school format, and that was always kind of a drag on it. They wanted to pull back to that kind of like, oh my god, like adolescence sucks. So if you have a chance to redo that like adolescence sucks thing with a different perspective, especially in 2018, and especially with that property, like this was a property that was supposed to be based in Southern California, and they didn't know any black people. So that's weird. They knew 2 black people. That was always weird.
Again, for me,
but that's weird. That's Southern California, and they didn't know black people.
I understand where you're coming from, and I understand what you're saying. Again, I circle back to my 2 things. Ross, I love you, baby. You're awesome. But more importantly, Alpha Flight.
That's
yes. That's my third point being, I don't care. I just want good stories. I don't care as long as the characters are relatable, they're real, and they tell a good story. I could not care less.
Yeah, if it's good, it's fine. But if it's bad,
if it's bad, do not blame it on the fact that the lead character is African American. That makes you an a-hole.
I was gonna say, if it's bad, I have 21 years of story to fall back on, because that's how long that story's been going on.
So yeah.
If it's bad, guess what? I got 21 years of another thing.
Exactly.
To go back.
Just like if you didn't like Last Jedi, go back and watch Return of the Jedi. Or if you didn't like Last Jedi, go back and watch Empire Strikes Back. F you, move on.
That is literally my biggest gripe with Last Jedi is that it's called Last Jedi, because now you can't say like, hey, like Jedi, like which one are you talking about? You talk about Return of or Last of? That is my biggest Last Jedi gripe.
Yeah, Jedi.
Which Jedi am I talking about? But yeah, if it's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, I'd rather see a sequel series, mostly because like the comics have been going on for all this time, and you could probably naturally integrate people into a sequel series and still include the comics. And I said it on Twitter, like, just call it Ellen the Vampire Slayer. People are gonna know what series it is.
Yeah, it's the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
But why not treat it like the Doctor a little bit? Like there's a Buffy that just
into every generation a Slayer is born.
Just like hand the mantle down. You are now Buffy.
What happened? Like, she gave the power to all the potentials and all that. Like, yeah.
I don't know anything about Buffy lore, so
that's
I'm just
fine. Let's
spitballing.
Look, let's watch 12 seasons of TV and read 11 years worth of comics. We got this.
I got. It's late at night. I got things to do.
This is our new.
I got cereal to go home and eat for dinner.
You're a sad man.
Well, that's because you stopped feeding me mac and cheese. You cheap.
I can do it. It's over there. It's in the unfinished side of the basement. We have boxes of it.
Yeah, you
do. You want do you want mac and cheese next week?
I would appreciate.
Okay,
that, yes.
I can give you.
Please.
I don't even know if I want to give it to you because I know that you're getting free dinner right now.
I've had football all this week. I'm not getting dinner this week.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can give you free mac and cheese.
We also have to do the show next Monday because I'm away Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at a conference.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there.
So yeah, Buffy, it's fine. Reboot it if you want. I'd rather sequelize it, but, doesn't matter.
You're not in charge.
Yeah, it's fine. This has been threatened for years, so it's not a big deal.
Threatened.
Or it'll be good.
Threatened is a strong word.
Whatever. It's
rumored,
whatever.
It's been vocalized. It's been conjectured. Threatened is that's very harsh, aggressive. That's what gets you an all caps tweet.
I'm not a ram.
All right, let's plug the show here. If you really like the show, if you survived this long, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. You can listen in on the aforementioned Buffy back issue bin, the other show on the network. You get that a whole week early.
We got a new Duke. They're going to get their own theme next week.
Hey, Dukes. And for
but not the old Duke boys, not Bo and
Luke.
Whatever.
Come on, Jesus.
Why do I care?
That's a classic show, dude.
It's a show.
No, it's not. How many episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard have you watched?
3?
And you've seen them all. Okay. Anyway, for just $1 a month, you can get this show. Oh, I'm plugging the Patreon. You can get the show a day early. And again, the Buffy back issue bin, the other show with the other awesome co-host outside of Zach. You can get this you get that show a whole week early.
I have a weird knowledge of old TV shows through a couple of.
What's the name of the car in the Dukes of Hazzard?
I don't remember.
The General Lee.
Thank you. Yep.
You idiot.
But when I was a kid, like going to daycare, like the older kids, which I fell into the kind of purview of, like would go downstairs and you could watch TV just quietly, which was relegated to the Sega Channel. Who remembers the Sega Channel, baby?
Were you one of those kids that had a Dreamcast?
No.
Oh.
I had one when I was in my 20s, but mostly it was just you could only watch TV Land. So like I watched a ton of Addams Family, and when I went to go to like my grandmother's apartment.
What about Bonanza?
I didn't see a ton of Bonanza, but I did see a ton of like Ed the Talking Horse.
Oh, Mr. Ed, not Ed the Talking Horse.
Of course.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course. It's Mr.
Apparently
Ed.
you know it too.
Yeah, it's not Ed the Talking Horse, it's
I'm
just
sorry.
Mr. Ed.
Whatever, so I know some weird old TV just based
Mr. Ed
on
is not
circumstance.
weird old TV.
Of course it is. It's a terrible show.
No, it was groundbreaking. That and Black Stallion.
Morticia Addams, hot as hell.
Yeah, then that's
all right. So Facebook.com, Instagram, Twitter, Editor's Note Comics. Jared's on Twitter.
If you want to throw a brick through Zach's window for being an ignorant pusshead, 210 Water
about
Street,
a
Hollowell.
horse that gave peanut butter to. I saw a ton of that show. It sucked.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
You saw it. If you saw it, you knew it sucked.
Bonanza was far superior, yes,
I
but
didn't see a lot of Bonanza.
you're
I'm
missing
sorry.
out, man. Little Haas, Joe Cartwright.
The talking horse, of course.
It's not a horse is a horse, of course, of course. You upset me in multiple ways tonight. Like multiple. I can't even count the ways that I have struggled to not reach across this couch and throttle the shit out of you.
So
and
aggressive.
the cherry on this shit Sunday that has been your treatment of me tonight was not even getting the words to the Mr. Ed song right. You son of a bitch. Alpha Force. Alpha Flight, whatever.
You can't even get it right.
It's been a long day.
So
I'm on Twitter at Junior Rich.
All right, we'll be back next week for a thing. I guess we'll just do it then. I think I know what it is. It's for you. I'm doing it for you.
Is it Man Bat?
No, because it's not out on Blu-ray until October, so I pushed that one back.
As long as it's not Plant Man.
No, but I think I'm doing sports for you next week. It's gonna be a sports show.
Ooh,
you wanna see?
Is it that like Strange Tales, Sports Tales?
It's not Strange Tales, but you know.
All right.
If I were to say to you,
I'm listening.
Like player versus player, men of the same size, who would win in a basketball tournament, Charles Barkley or Godzilla?
Ooh, that's
you
tough.
can't answer it because we're gonna find out next week, baby.
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see the answer.
Yeah, that's next week. Barkley versus Godzilla.
All right.